if you're a packaging reseller in a world that everything seems to be the same, everything is all about price, 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 be a penny cheaper than the other guy. And I think that's misguided. Um, excuse me, for lack of a better way to put it, there's always something we can provide to our customers that we either bring more margin or make their life easier or allow us to partner with them in a deeper way. Let me explain. Um, Current customer wanted us to provide them with shakers. These are like salt shakers. These are like spice jars. You can see them. Okay. So one thing in particular, I can go head to head with just about anybody out there in this space. Okay. But we're splitting hairs. But one of the things that they wanted us to do that was actually critical, and they didn't have this, was for us to put this label on there for them. Now, you would think, sticking a label on is really simple. Anyone can do it. Not so fast. Any label that goes on here with an air bubble that's not on straight, they throw the whole thing away. It's just gone. So for us to be able to provide them with a label already applied allows us to make a couple extra points when it comes to margin. Another thing that we provide here as well, and I don't know if you can see this here on the inside, this is an induction liner. Now the induction liner is basically what happens is once they fill this, there's a sonic weld that caps over here and basically kind of pulls this liner up. So you've seen them. They're like a foil liner that come on the inside of these when you open them. So they're tamper evident. Now, there's a lot of different things with the liners that are also unique. You can have printed liners, which again, for a company like this that always wants to have their name and their logo out there, it's very important. And printed induction liners isn't something that everybody here in the States does. Another thing is getting, and it's hard to see, but deep embedded in this, I'm going to try to get you the reflection here, is we have embossed their logo onto this lid. It's not on the bottom, but it's just on the lid. Now, again, little things that nobody else here is going to do for them. So when it comes to something like this, and you're able to kind of offer them something that they cannot get anyplace else. For example, here's another option. This is a little clay jar. It's hard to see, but we've embossed their leaf. I'm going to try to angle this so you can see it. It's a leaf on there that correlates with their brand. And again, I've also embossed their name and website on the bottom. But anyhow, these are the kind of things that, you can find stock jars and lids or whatever it is from Berlin and Carey and the rest of those guys. But when you can offer them something that is, and here what's really cool, and that's an induction liner that is vented. Those little tiny holes that you can see are vented induction liners, which are really hard to do in the US from a standpoint of it takes a little die. It's not that it's hard to do, is that a lot of companies won't monkey with it just for the simple fact that it's not something they do. And you're either going to have to find somebody else to do it, or you're going to have to order in boatload quantities. And God forbid you want you want a printed and vented induction liner. Good luck with that. The biggest of the big guys are ordering hundreds of thousands of these. But if you have the right partner that's able to negotiate with the factory and get them to run much smaller volume on something like that, now you're talking about truly partnering with your client. That's the other thing that oftentimes sales reps, sales managers even, totally neglect. Offering something that you would think would be a no-brainer, but not a lot of people will do it. We recently were asked to quote, let me see if I can do this. This is a fitment, a really oddball fitment that goes into a gallon bucket. Okay. So gallon buckets are a dime a dozen. You can get them anywhere. But this thing is pretty crazy. It's not just the straw here, but this little thing pops off and it fits back in here. But this little suction thingy, I don't know what you call it. What I'm getting at is they didn't want massive volume of this. When I say massive volume, they wanted less than 50,000 of these. And if you're going to do something that's custom like this, usually in the States, they're not going to touch it unless there's 500,000, maybe even more than that, because you have to injection mold this. You have to make a mold out of cast aluminum, and it has to be designed, and the tooling can be really expensive. You do it in the States. But if you have the right partner that's able to partner with the factories that can do this for you at a couple of thousand versus a few couple 100,000, that's also a game changer. And now you're truly in a partnership with your client on something that they couldn't get anyplace else. The other thing here, how about the color green? Most people won't even ask, how important is that color green? And by the way, Mr. Customer, if you really and truly, like back to these guys, if you truly have to have that particular color, we can do it. Where a lot of times people say, oh no, it's got to be white, got to be black, got to be whatever that color is available. But if you can do something that no one else can do, that's a game changer. And the final thing I wanted to show you on top of this, and I shared a little bit about this before, but this is similar to that fitment or that straw fitment I was showing you. These are fitments that can be applied and sealed to plastic bags or aseptic packaging or bladder bags or whatever you want to call them. There's all kinds of these things, big, small, tiny, whatever, that fit a customer's machine or fit a customer's component or fit or a bottle or fit some. This looks like it screws onto a gallon jar. And actually, it could even, let me see if it even works with this. I doubt it, but it would, something like this thing. Anyhow, the point I'm getting at is all of this is the kind of example that you're able to offer your clients if you have the right partner that can get you to the right factories. The factories are out there that will and are able to do what you want and are willing and able to do the special customized stuff and not have to be massive volume. That's where a lot of people get this mixed up, and they assume it's going to have to be millions. They're going to have special equipment. They're going to have to do a big investment. No, you don't. And oftentimes people are blown away at not just the quality, but the ability to run custom sizes, custom quantities, and really and truly position yourself at the forefront with that customer. Then what happens generally, almost always, is once you do that one part, they will come back to you over and over again for the simple fact that the light bulb goes off that what they thought in the past was impossible, now you are their person. You are that guy. And that gives you an opportunity to get an audience with your customer and really position yourself, position your company to be different than everybody else that's out there. I hope this is helpful. This truly is a game changer when you go to look at certain things and certain opportunities that no one else can do. So check it out. And again, here's some other, well, before I let you go, here's another oddball thing that kind of came up. This is a massive bag that holds 3 liters of liquid detergent. Now, in the States, a lot of liquid detergent now has been using those water-soluble little tablets. But it doesn't have to be liquid detergent. This could be protein powder. This can be water. This can be anything it can be powder. It can be liquid or whatever. But again, had we not, it's so goofy with this, but had we not worked on and found out, and there's a measuring cup that goes with this. And here's a key thing. Where this came from was protein powder company said, oh, we can't go to flexible because we always have a measuring cup inside of our rigid bucket. That's nonsense. We can make and we molded this and injection molded this with a screw-on measuring cup. Suddenly you can do something like this in a particular flexible bag that is a sustainable example, cost effective, 80-90% less expensive than rigid, ships flat, stores flat, uses a fraction of the energy to create, and is recyclable. So it's that kind of stuff, folks, that oftentimes people don't realize. And let me leave you with one more. Here's another customer that actually, the game changer for us, this is some sterilizer bags. These are some pouches that are used for breast milk, okay? So we made the pouches, that's one thing. But what they really wanted us to do was to help them become very effective when they were shipping these to Target or whoever the end user was or the retailer. But they needed to be very cost effective as a kit. Okay. So what we were able to do was not only create, and here's the other thing. At the bottom, the box itself had a weak spot. So the factory actually is the one that alerted us and said, hey, look, you've got a very weak spot. If this gets to the retailer and it's kind of a weak area and these things kind of falter, you're in trouble. The factory themselves went, I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can shine it right in here. They put a button label right on here, no charge. They put a button label on here to secure the integrity of the bottom. When you have the right factory and you have the right partner, and the factory understands they not only want this order, they want the next order, the next order, the next order, they'll partner with you. The thing that's so frustrating is oftentimes companies will just ship this crap and go, well, you didn't tell us to put anything on the bottom. When you're with the right factory and the right partner, they'll look out for you. They want you to succeed because then they're going to succeed. Other than that, it's mind-blowing to me how many companies, manufacturers in the packaging space just think mediocrity is okay. Just kind of, well, that's fine, no big deal. And I'll do a separate video on this down the road, but it's frustrating because that's pretty much the norm here in the US with a lot of packaging companies. Well, you didn't ask for a button label on the bottom and the bottom's ripped. That's your problem, not mine. That's nonsense. We have an opportunity to perfect what we do for our customers and be partners with them long term. Again, keep this in mind. I hope it was helpful. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you want to see more, here's another video that you can check out, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.